Hello, welcome to part 3. I'm going to pick right up with talking about infographics. So, we've been talking about making information interesting. You can do this with just about any visual aid, okay? But infographics are a really cool thing that has sort of emerged over the last, I'm going to say, decade or so. But they're everywhere now, and they're really useful ways of having a lot of information in one place. And so, you might only have to make one slide. If you have an infographic, you can make one slide, put the infographic on there, and then you can kind of go back and forth between, because we'll talk about cover slides in a minute, you can go back and forth between the infographic and a blank slide to direct your audience's attention, and then you can direct where they look at it. So for example, here is the infographic of infographics. Okay? And it's actually a really great example because it's got a lot of different information. And so what you can do is you could say, so if you would please take a look at this content point right here. Take a look right here, and you can guide your audience's attention to here. You talk about what it says, you reference it, and then if you're done with it and not going to reference it for a while, you can take it away. Now, of course, it goes back to that for me, but you can take it away. Another thing you can do is you can actually create your own infographic. So I've had some students do this. I've done it, and it's very effective. Let me show you one that I actually had to do. So as a part of my tenure and promotion here at Front Range, I had to do an assessment project and then present on it at a conference that the school puts on, okay? And it was an important part of my advancement. So what I did was I did the project. It was a lot of work, and then I used Prezi, by the way. So this is where I am. I'm now in Prezi. Okay, Prezi's free online. You just go to Prezi.com. You can look up here, Prezi.com. Sign up for free, and you can use it. Now Prezi is really cool, and it has its drawbacks, just like every single visual aid format. PowerPoint is cool and has its drawbacks. Google Slides is the same way. Prezi is exactly like that. Okay, so the cool thing about Prezi is you can zoom in and zoom out, and they have templates that you can utilize. Okay, so it didn't take me that long to learn how to use it, but some people say it takes them longer. It's just, I think it depends on the person. Okay, there's nothing special about me. Trust me. All right. But what I did was this: I created a very simple infographic using a website called Easel.ly. It's EASEL.ly. Okay. If you look that up, it'll pull it up. It's a free site. You can create your own infographic there. And what I did is I created the infographic you see here, and then I put it in Prezi, and then used Prezi. And the cool thing about Prezi is it zooms in and zooms out. Okay. So take a look at this. I began my presentation. This is probably, let me see, I did this in the fall of 2014, I believe. I think I presented this in October of 2014 because in 2015, I was promoted. So it was here. So and so what you do is, the cool thing about Prezi is what it does. The downside of Prezi is down here, as you can see. To move forward, you have to use a mouse to hit this arrow. Okay, so here's what happens. I worked this presentation out. It was a 45-minute presentation, I think. And so I worked it out to where I began like this. This is on the screen behind me as I'm talking. And then while I began, I was introducing my my project, and I zoomed into the title. Okay? And I talked about kind of where I came from and why I thought of this and where I wanted to do and all this other kind of stuff. And so then I moved to my source citation right here. And did you see that? The source citation comes out of nowhere. That's pretty cool. I'll do it again. So this is just the title of my presentation. And you don't have to do the title. I did because it was a longer presentation. And then if you click here, and here's my source citation, it comes up. I talk about it a little bit. And then when I'm done with it, it goes away and I go back to the title. And I worked this out with my presentation. I knew what I was doing, where, so I was clicking as I was presenting. And then it zooms out while I'm transitioning. It zooms out and zooms into what question did I ask for my assessment project. And then on a scale from 1 to 5, I don't value it, and you can't see it because my face is right here. It says I greatly value feedback over here. And so again, this is talk about making information interesting, okay? I could have said the mean across all 4 sections was 4.73, saying that they greatly value feedback. I could have just said it. But I created this scale. I put the little dot here, and I drew it down, and I said the mean across all 4 sections, and all of a sudden you see, oh, students greatly value feedback. Okay? It's one thing to say it, it's another thing to show it and make it interesting. Okay? So that's what you want to do. And so then what I did was, from there, I go back to the question to talk about the qualitative side of it. Okay? So I talk about the qualitative. That was the minor quantitative stuff. It was mainly a qualitative examination. I look at the qualitative answers, and I group them into 7 categories. So there are my 7 categories. I talk about the 7 categories right here. Again, I'm directing attention with the visual aid here. I'm interacting with it the entire time I'm speaking. This is the cool thing about infographics and the cool thing about Prezi. And then I talk about the first one. I instead of doing all 7, I talked about the top 3. Okay? So depends on the feedback, and then I talked about my analysis and then words from the students. See? That's why I have analysis and then words from the students right there. Okay? So analysis, words from the students, more words from the students. Okay? Then, again, I come down here. It depends on the professor. Okay? And it's zoomed in. The calibration on Prezi will sort of shift on you over time. And because I made this a few years ago, it's sort of shifted. I would have to fix this so you can see the depends. But there's Dr. Indiana Jones. You know, he's like the coolest professor ever. Worst professor ever, but the coolest one. So, or I guess best looking. I don't know. And then you have the analysis, words from students that I actually surveyed. Again, you come to my 3rd point. Depends on the grade, analysis, and words from students. Okay, and then you come to the end of the presentation, and it goes away if I wanted to make it do that. So, folks, you can do something like this very, very easily for your persuasive speech. Where's my? Oh, I must have ended the thing. It's okay. So, let me just get to the infographic bottom here. So, folks, infographics are a really great way of putting a lot of information in one spot so that you can always, so that it's easy and always know that your audience is following you. All right. So, if you're going to use anything with information on it, it has to be simple, clear, and useful. All right. It has to be easy to read. I will have students who will throw a graph up on a PowerPoint and no one can see it, or it won't be clear what the heck it's saying. Okay, it has to be simple, clear, and useful. It has to be easily digestible. Okay, for your audience. Okay, so moving forward, dun dun dun. Yes, you can use video. This one is always a little bit iffy though, because people don't know how to use video. And what I mean by that is, I'm not saying people don't know how to play it. Oh no, they know how to play it. They don't know how to use it effectively. Okay, I will have students who will show way too much video and not have enough speech, or they think the video will be so great and they won't be. It won't be. Okay, so let me just do a couple of things here. Let me show you kind of how video can work, and then let me explain how to do it right. Okay, so first of all, in just about any of the electronic methodologies that you can use to do a video in, first of all, you can flat pull up a YouTube video and have a blank screen before it, and then just open that, play it, and then go back to your blank screen. That's perfectly fine. You can also, if you're using PowerPoint, Prezi, or Google Slides, you can put the URL in. Okay, so I went in here and did this. This TED Talk is actually where I first saw the upside down map of the world. Okay, so it's an interesting TED Talk and it's short, but you can put the URL here, and when it comes time for you to show it, you click on it. Okay, now the problem with it is depending on where you're at, depending on that, everything depends on how long it takes for it to begin to play. So here I am, right there. One click took a couple of seconds, and so if I had said watch this and then hit click, we'd be sort of awkwardly waiting for it. Me talking while it's loading is a good idea. So here, I click, and it begins almost immediately. So I can do that for my video. So I can show the video, Here's the introduction. Right? Hey, it's a TED Talk. That's neat. Okay. So when it's over with, then I can go back to my PowerPoint. I just come down here and I click right here. Right here I am. Okay. So you can do something like that and never even have to really worry about losing your PowerPoint too much. You can also, it's getting easier and easier now to just embed the video in the slide. The question here is what's it going to do when I click on it? Okay. Now, if I click over here, what's going to happen? If I click here, what's going to happen? Probably different things, maybe the same thing. Let's find out. I mean, I know what's going to happen, but watch. If I click here, oh, it plays.
You're standing on a street anywhere in America.
Okay. Wait a minute. If I click there, it starts over. If I wait, okay. Oh my gosh, how do I stop it? See, one of the things that you have to do is you have to make sure you understand what's going to happen here with your video. Okay. So you come over here. You have to make sure that you do not let your videos dominate the presentation. Okay? And so, let me go back because I want to show this. Take you back here. Okay, so using the URL works because it's going to be a little bit easier to control the video if you need to start or stop it. Okay? At least here. You can put it in here and it works pretty well. Okay? If you come over to the big version, you can actually see this. See, this is the trick of knowing what's going to happen with a PowerPoint. If I embed it here in the notes view, I can't control it. But if I come over here and I click on it, it's going to start. Now you can't see what I'm doing right now, but I'm over on my other screen here, and then I can pause it when I need to, and then I can click and go forward. Okay? But understand that if you click anywhere on the slide, the movie is going to play. Okay, so that's that. Make sure you know what you're going to do. So don't let it dominate the presentation. Here's my rule. All right. In a 6 to 9 minute speech, you should keep your video to 1 minute, right around that ish. Okay. You do not need a 5-minute video in a 9-minute speech. That's a video, not a speech. Okay. So it is not the presentation. It is an aid. It is a supplement. And so I like to keep it to 30, 45 seconds. If I was an hour-long presentation, I might get up to 5 minutes of video. It's my presentation. I'm the point, and I'm the person that they need to be hearing from. Okay? If I get up there in my 1-hour presentation and show a 45-minute video, unless it's me talking in the video the whole time, then that's not a presentation. It's me showing a video. Okay? So that's that. Video absolutely has to be practiced. I have students who go, I'll just show a video right here. That's no big deal. No, practice it. There are more clicks involved on a mouse. There are more clicks involved. There are more awkward pauses possibly involved in showing a video than any other of your visual aids. Okay? Most of the time it requires some weight. Sometimes when you put the video in the PowerPoint, the internet in the room might be slow that day. So practice it, practice it, practice it. Okay? Don't think that I'll just show a video at the beginning and I don't need to practice that. That's no big deal. Then I'll just talk after that. No, practice it. You have to know what it feels like to stop the video and begin to speak. Also, if you show a video on YouTube and autoplay is on, it happens every single semester. Someone will show a video on YouTube, autoplay will be on, they'll think they're fine, the video will end, and then they will start to speak, and then in about 10 or 15 seconds, the advertisement for, face wash will begin to play in the background. And so make sure you practice with the VA so that the unexpected things don't get you. Okay? We're almost done here. We're going to talk about the art of design, and then we'll be out of here. I'll see you in the next screencast.